Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. Welcome back to Inter Worldwide. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with a friendly face. It is Matija. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, my man.
It is always a pleasure, and it's a pleasure to have a crowd with us as well. We've got 12 people with us right now, and I'm sure that we'll grow into a nice audience here today. So make sure you all let us know who is in the house, like the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, let me know who you are new. This is our first Told You Bro segment of the season, because if I'm allowed to just be positive for 10 seconds before we move into a very doomy, gloomy match preview, the team has not given us a reason to not trust them this season with the way that they've handled all opponents. This is what I mean going into the games. You know, we went into Sassuolo thinking we should get the business done. Same with Bologna, same with Genoa, rightfully so, because the form suggested it, the results suggested it, the team suggested it. This one, however, this is the first time this season that we are out with our, I was going to say access pitchforks. I don't know what the tool is that the Grim Reaper has, but that real sharp shank on the end of the wooden stick, Matija and I have dusted them off, pulled them out of the closets, and now it is time to feast on this match preview, bro, because Monza are a great team. No, they're not a great team. They're a good team, and they are going to be a good team against us. There's 25 people with us right now. I'm going to throw the mic over to Matija for some initial match thoughts before I talk about some stats. Please forgive me. I've got no graphics or no images up today, guys. It'll just be our two friendly faces.
Yes. Okay. So as you said, I'll completely agree with you as always. So Inter really didn't give us any any reason so far to be, negative or to be Grim Reapers, as Uncle Sharma says. Shout out to him. But winter is coming, like they say in Game of Thrones. Winter is coming, and for Inter, that definitely doesn't sound good, because if you guys followed Inter for many years, when Inter comes, we slow down and we start to fall apart. And January and February are usually the periods where we, when we don't have good results. And unfortunately, the same goes for our manager. Even before he came to Inter, his team, then Lazio, always had a bad streak in this period. So this is a double negative, which unfortunately doesn't make it a positive. And even though, we had a win in the last game, it didn't give us any reason to be positive or optimistic, because the last two games show really clearly that we are in a downward trajectory. And players look tired, and it's not looking good currently. So we'll see.
Yeah, I actually only know one Monza fan in the whole world. He lives over in Italy. He actually lives in Rome, and I was speaking to him not yesterday, not the day before, but the day before that. And I go, bro, our fans are packing shit. Like, we do not want to come to your stadium and play. And he goes, man, all you do is read the media about Monza and think we're doing well. The Monza fans at the moment actually aren't too happy with the way that they're playing. He said that they've dropped a lot of silly points this season. He goes, they're okay with the 3-0 loss to Milan, losing to Juve. I think they drew to Napoli. But there was a fair few results this season that they haven't been happy with, and they're not exactly happy with the way that the team has performed at home. So we need to do our homework on this side and know that we still are the better team, the bigger team, the team that should be getting 3 points from this, despite everything that Matija and I are saying. So I'm hoping. I just wanted to throw that little anecdote in there, because it's not every day that you speak to a Monza fan.
Interesting, yeah.
I know that they're 11th in the table, either side of Torino and just a wild guess. It might be Lecce. I don't know. Genoa. That's it. So not having a bad season by anyone's standards, but their own fans who might just have started to taste the bittersweet taste of what it feels like to have a good season after their very impressive start to Serie A after coming up to Serie B. In terms of our personnel and who you think will be available and who you think will play in this game. Matija, over to you first, and then I'll back it up with some latest team news.
You mean our team?
Yes.
So Lautaro is back.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. He played 90 minutes. I'm not sure that was a good option in the previous game, but it's good to see him, play 90 minutes again. Gregorio is injured. Okay,
Bro, I missed this
good.
I missed this one from Indro. This comment is going to kill me. And if there was a specific market to bet on him at the back post, I would. But we're gonna have a look at some odds at the end of this stream. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna
brother. D'Ambrosio, take your pick. D'Ambrosio, Gagliardini, Carboni. Score. All of them are gonna score, right?
Guys, be smart, Inter fans. Wipe your tears with $50 bills at the end of the weekend, man. If they're gonna hurt you, let them pay for the pain.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. I have a feeling now that we mentioned this. If this happens, if Gagliardini scores, I will probably take a day off. I'll not be able to do anything. If that happens, I'm gonna just give up, at least for the next 24 hours. But yeah, it's not. Maybe it will happen. Who knows?
The Verona game was, because it's not often I get to watch games with the wife present in the same room because of the kickoff times, but even she couldn't believe it. Like, she was like, if you saw this game objectively, you'd think it was like scripted, like someone was writing it on the side, like it's not a normal game of football. And I was telling her, this is before Fratesi scored. Before Fratesi scored, I was like, I can't do this for the rest of this month. I think I should just look at the results. And she's like, I think you should. It's going to hurt too much. And then the Fratesi, and this is before the Fratesi goal, mind you. So we still haven't seen the Fratesi goal, the Bastoni elbow, the Barella Sanchez fuck up, the penalty, and the missed penalty. That was all before that.
It's just a regular Pazza game, from us. It's
nuts. I hear what you're saying about Lautaro being available, and at this point in time, no one is really showing Inzaghi, even Thuram, to an extent that they can be trusted to put the ball in the back of the net up until the 94th minute. So Lautaro, when you're chasing a goal, you can't take him off. It's as simple as that. I think if he brought Lautaro off at all, the fans would have even gone nuts. I get what you're saying, though. You got to look after his physical health, but at the same time, Inzaghi had to look after the 3 points, and I can't remember if Lautaro was even involved in the build-up to that goal. I don't think he was at all, but he was there. He was on the pitch at the time, and that's what mattered. I think it was just funny when Fratesi went and celebrated to the crowd, and Lautaro, I don't think anyone's written anything on this, jumps at him and whispers something. I guarantee you he's whispering, you sure you're onside, Frat? Are you 110% sure that you are onside? Because Lautaro looked so nervous as any of us fans did when he scored that goal. Because I hate the modern day VAR thing, man. I can't celebrate much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, every goal you have to wait for 5 minutes until you can celebrate it, basically.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But considering our backup strikers or the non-existence of the same, it's just not possible not to have Lautaro on every game for 90 minutes. We have to do it. We have no other choice. So.
Yep. Federico Di Marco is about 70% fit. Are you happy to give Augusto another run, knowing that it's against his former side? Like, if it wasn't against Monza, I would be really entertaining the idea of bringing Di Marco back into the starting lineup. I don't think Augusto has been fantastic over a 90-minute period. That being said, I don't think he's been poor. I don't even think he's been average. I think he's been slightly above average. I just think that we've been a little surprised by Federico Di Marco's impact through his input goal-wise, assist-wise, build-up play-wise, attack-wise, that when Augusto came in, it just felt a tiny bit underwhelming. However, I still think he's played fairly well, and I still think that up against his former side in Monza, you'd be silly to drop him for this game because it doesn't send the right message to him mentally. So I'm more than happy for Carlos Augusto to get one more start under his belt before reintegrating Di Marco as the starter. What are you thinking?
Exactly. I completely agree with you. So I really liked, except for the last game against Verona, he wasn't good, but nobody really was really good
Yeah.
against Verona. So I was really satisfied with Carlos Augusto. So I think he did a solid job. So I would definitely start him in this one. I wouldn't risk DiMarco yet. Maybe, well, Inzaghi doesn't do halftime substitutes, so I guess he would get, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the end for DiMarco. I think that would be good. Yeah, so I agree. I definitely would still start Augusto.
Yeah. A few people in the house. Good to see you all.
Yeah,
Game
man.
intro,
Happy New
Edson.
Year.
Happy New Year, Hoyan, brother. I hope you're doing well, man. Indra asked you, are you ready to farewell with Dumfries this summer? Hoyan says he'll moan for 24 hours. He's leaving, bro. We gotta get ready for it. We gotta get used to it, and we just gotta try and milk the EPL bag as much as we can. So from one wing back side to the other, with Monza, a side that generally likes to play with the ball, likes to get involved, this is probably a really good game for Denzel Dumfries to start. Correct me, he did start against Verona, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. So yeah, we'd keep him in the starting
He
lineup.
had some, I don't know, he was complaining about something, but he wasn't subbed. I don't know which minute it was. I think it was first half. He was complaining about something, but he remained until, I don't know, 60th, 70th minute, and then he was subbed. So I hope that Dumfries gets better. And if he gets injured now again, then we're not going to be able to sell him, for any good price. So I really hope he is fit.
We need to look after his physical condition then and keep him optimal, because like we need to sell him. We need an injection of cash in the summer just to survive, just to make sure that we don't lose anybody else. That's what it's really all about at the moment. Midfield, which has been very fatigued the last few games. I think that this is the biggest talking point pretty much from the Bologna Coppa Italia rotation coming back. The midfield has just looked flat. It's looked a little bit stagnant, and it's looked a little void of ideas in the final third. Hakan, Mkhitaryan, and Barella are three players that look absolutely exhausted, along with Acerbi, but we'll just stick with the midfielders for now. I would not. If you start Fratesi in this game and he doesn't play well and the result doesn't go your way, as Inzaghi, you should be okay with taking that risk. And I'm just saying it from his point of view. Like, the fans are not going to come for you for benching Henrik Mkhitaryan for Davide Fratesi. If it doesn't go well and we draw with Monza, then you can go to the post-match interview and even, C-word it up a little bit and go, this is why you have certain midfielders starting in certain positions for certain qualities in certain games. But I just think it's a gamble at this point that he can afford to take. And just saying, I actually don't think Mkhitaryan's been the worst of the three in the last three games. It's been Barella first for me, Hakan second. Hakan was the worst in the last game for me.
Yes.
But overall, in the games that we're complaining about, which I think from memory are Monza, Genoa, Sociedad, and to a degree Benfica. But I don't think we need to go that far back. So if we were to stick with those three games where we dropped points, last game, Verona, and the last two games before that, then overall, Barella and Hakan have probably joined the first podium for how poor they've been. And Mkhitaryan's just been Mkhitaryan. If the team's looking good, so is Mkhitaryan. He's still a goal threat a lot of the time. And he still gets himself into advantageous positions, and he's not afraid to take a shot. It's just frustrating because he's old. But remember, Matija, a lot of fans had these conversations about a certain Bosnian striker last season who just happens to be the most informed striker in Turkey. And I swear to God, man, his market value is probably worth 10. If Arnautovic is worth 10, what's Edin Dzeko worth?
30 at least.
Yeah. We got to stop talking about this, you and I, man. We bring up this way too much. We know we were right, but we're milking this to the shit.
Yeah, we have to say again, told you, bro, you will miss.
It's right in our faces. He keeps scoring, bro. He got a hat trick in 1 half. He got a hat trick in 1 half, bro. Oh, well, you snooze, you lose.
Yeah, it is what it is. But we have to blame Lukaku for that, not.
Of course. Anyway, so I didn't mean to get sidetracked. Back to the midfield. What do you do here if you're Inzaghi? We take the gamble with Fratesi, pull one of them out.
Definitely.
And if you're going to pull one of them out, it has to be Mkhitaryan.
Yes. Yes. Has to be him. Nothing against the guy. I know Mo hates him, but I think he's actually quite good when he is not run into dust. So Inzaghi has, I have to criticize him a little bit here. So far, he has done an amazing job this season, no
Mm-hmm.
question about it. But he has that thing with him with overplaying some players, especially old, experienced players. He runs them into dust, and then they are not useful for us in the second half of the season. He's done that twice with Dzeko. Now he's doing it the second time with Mkhitaryan again, and now he's doing the same for Acerbi. So he's grinding these old, good, experienced players into dust. So I really have to criticize that a little bit.
Yeah, I would have to agree. So for me, I would pull Mickey out of this lineup and put Fratesi into that lineup, but I don't think we're going to see that. I think you're going to see the trademark midfield three of Mkhitaryan, Hakan, and Barella with Dimarco on the left-hand side and Denzel Dumfries on the right. And up top, you will see Lautaro and Thuram, won't you?
You have to. I mean, even though we have two other strikers, we actually don't. So you have to start them. And
Yeah.
I have to pray that Sensi will leave and we will have some money and maybe we will be able to buy some additional striker because we really don't have options currently there. It's our
Yeah.
weakest, bench.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving into a little bit of form that will interest the 34 people that are here, which is actually really, really nice. Thank you so much, everybody. Like the video,
Right.
subscribe if you are new. Monza have played 9 home games this season. They have won 3, drawn 4, lost 2, 10 goals scored, 6 goals conceded. Their last 5 games at home, they are only 1 win in 5. So the conversation I had with good old mate from Rome, Monza fan, this is pretty much what he was describing. He said they've been a little bit underwhelmed with how they've handled their home form. It doesn't feel like, the stadium that it should feel like when the team plays at home. And, I was trying to build his confidence back up. I go, mate, you're coming from dominating Serie B and making it a fortress to coming to Serie A and going through a honeymoon period. And, a lot of Serie B teams come up to Serie A and have a honeymoon period. And to your credit, you are outlasting the honeymoon period and cementing yourselves in the league. You're chucking a Sassuolo. You're not chucking a Cagliari or a Crotone or even an Empoli to a degree. You're here to
They're
stick around.
mid-table. Yeah,
They're mid-table. They're here to stick around. They're not going anywhere. So I think that should be confidence enough for them to maintain their home ground as a fortress. Their form overall, I think, has been average to slightly above average when they've played sides on their level, but they still know how to get the job done and get more than enough points to survive in this league. And that enough scares the shit out of me because even though this season has been good, in my experience, especially in the last 4 to 5 years as an Inter fan, the mid-table sides like your Torinos, like your Sassuolos, like your Udineses, like your Bolognas, they scare me the most. They scare me the most out of any teams that we end up playing in the league. So I'm going into this thinking that coming away with a draw is a disaster result because we're going for the Scudetto. In theory, it's not a disaster result coming away from this stadium and this team. But this season, it is, unfortunately. Before I move into Monza's lineup and players, how do you think the game's going to go, Matija? You don't have to give a scoreline prediction just yet.
Well, looking at their last 2 games, they had a draw away against Napoli, which is quite good result, and they beat Frosinone. So I would say they had probably better games than us the last 2 games. So that's kind of concerning. And nobody can forget the last season how we played against them. We lost and we drew. So our head-to-head is 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. Not looking great. So, and when you see potentially D'Ambrosio on the other side, Gagliardini, Carboni, that doesn't fill you with confidence when you see so many ex-players.
Yeah.
And we know how every ex-Inter player loves to score against us. So, yeah, I'm definitely not confident, and I don't feel that we will have an easy game at all. I see it more like a Verona game, or even worse.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of their players, it's, you know, they're both players that have got a mix of Serie A experience, a mix of youth experience. Carboni, Kyriakopoulos, Pablo Mari, D'Ambrosio, Armando Izzo as well. It's not an unfamiliar lineup that we'll see at the back. Colpani, Carboni, Gagliardini, Pessina as well in midfield. So you can see where a lot of the threats come from, because it's an experienced side at the least. And then that's without factoring in Maric, Vignato, and Colombo as well, and Dani Mota. So take your pick out of any of those extended players that could line up against us tomorrow. It's not going to be an easy game at all. It'll be definitely one of our most difficult fixtures of Serie A this season. With that being said, a big hello to Matt Pickham. Happy Friday to you, my guy. You back at work now, man? What is it? January 9th? 12th. Look at me in education, 3 days behind everything, bro. I've got no idea what's going on, Matija. I just actually called today the 9th of January. Goes to show. Matt, let me know how if you went back to work, man. Mickey cost us that win last season with his Dinio move in our own half. Yeah. I remember that, bro. I remember that. And then Monza scored off the cross in. Yes, I remember that. That was a low point. A low point. Maybe another reason for Mkhitaryan to eat the bench for Fratesi in this game. Indra says, jokes aside, I'm confident as long as our players don't get overconfident and carried away. Play as normal as possible until we get 3 points. I hope so. Yeah, you work through, no rest for me, but Fiji. Oh, good man. Bless. Be safe and travel well. I've never been to Fiji, but I've heard it's supposed to be beautiful. So really nice stuff. What was I going to say? There was a really good question up here unrelated to Inter, but I didn't answer it, but I wanted to. There it is. Rules P, welcome to the channel if it's your first time. Charles Anth, what are your views on the Socceroos Asian Cup chances? Like, bro, just quickly, if I'm allowed to sidetrack for a sec, Matija, sorry. I actually think that we should go deep into this tournament, man, because everyone else is shit. Who is supposed to come to us, bro? We forget, even though it was a little bit fluky to an extent and we got a favorable draw, we're talking about a quarterfinalist for the World Cup here now. And we're not going to be a quarterfinalist again in the World Cup for a long time, trust me. But this is the tournament that backs that up. We need to back that up. And it starts by absolutely whipping the shit out of, with most due respect, I just married an Indian lady, India, Syria, Uzbekistan. Like, we got to get through this group comfortably with 7 or 9 points. And then whoever we come up against in the next round, whip them and just go straight into the quarters. The only teams that should be looking to come up against our squad and making life a complete pain for us should be Japan, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia. That's it. Not even Iran, not even Qatar. So, but that being said, man, it would be very Socceroos-like to make the quarterfinals of the World Cup and have a real bomb of an Asian tournament. But thanks for the comment, man. That was nice. I never really get to talk about that sort of stuff. Japan will probably win the whole thing, bro. They will win it.
Oh, I love watching Japan in the last World Cup. It was such a treat. And watching Nagatomo still play, and he was actually quite good.
Yeah, I was wondering if he wanted to come back for a loan for this season or something when I was watching him.
To be honest, we were talking if we would take Gagliardini or Nagatomo. Everybody said, give me Nagatomo.
Yeah, bro. And I don't watch their national games, but like if you look at their last results in their qualifiers and stuff, 6-1, 5-0, 5-0, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. Like they whooped teams for absolute life. They played against Germany, I think in a friendly in September last year. They went to Germany and beat them 4-1. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. Yeah, but they beat them in the World Cup too, and Spain.
Yeah.
So it's not outrageous as it sounds.
Nagatomo will cook on the limone.
No, he's a bit old now, but he's one of the very few players that I liked even in the banter era. So he at least tried,
Yeah.
So, anyways,
what's your prediction for this one, Matija? And everyone, drop your predictions in the chat below. Let's do it. Let's embarrass ourselves, Matija. You can go first.
We will not win this game. So it is It's not looking good. So, like I said, our trajectory is going down. I see it as a draw or as a loss. Um, a draw would probably be as bad as a loss, right? So if we drew and you will win, which they obviously will, who's going to be first? So
Yeah.
they're going to be first, right?
Well, no, if we draw and they win, we will still be first because we've got
So
the goal
we'll have.
difference at the moment. Until we play them for the second head-to-head, we will be first.
Okay.
Which is coming up in February anyway, so it means jack shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I dislike the fact that we're going to have a game in hand. You know what? This season, okay, I'm going off, but I just want to say that this season is increasingly reminding me of 2 seasons ago. And I really don't like it. So when we bombed the title to Milan, it's increasingly reminding me of that. And the fact that we're going to have a game in hand again, I really don't like that. It will probably mean that Juve will be on top and that we will bomb that game in hand. And anyways, but I'm getting ahead. So
no, but you're right, but rightfully so, man. And I know it's a doom and gloom thing to talk about, but until this team, like Juve have proven that they're going to grind out wins almost every single week. So we need to match the first half of the season. 48 points. Is it 48 points that we're on? And we know statistically, like as you opened the show with, we don't usually match our first half, and neither does this manager. So just prove us wrong is all we're asking. The Supercoppa is an absolute disaster, and we're going to close with that now and then talk a little bit about Mercato, and then I'm going to go into something fun at the end. Let's start with Supercoppa. What a pain in the ass. If you could sack it right now and say, just give the trophy to one of the other clubs so we can stay home and train, would you?
Yeah, I would.
Because I think I would. I actually think I would.
It's not possible. Yeah. I would, but unfortunately, it's not possible. Limone, he will give it all to win that Coppa.
Just sorry to interrupt you, but we all know the prize money involved and how delicate the time it is for ownership. So,
yeah, I think Ian Kerr, shout out to him. I think he said it's 8 million or something like that.
Something like that.
So it's a lot of money, and I would probably rotate against Lazio, and if we win, then maybe I wouldn't in the final, or I would. I don't know. But Inzaghi, he doesn't want to miss the chance to be a coach with most Super Cups in history. If he wins it, Inzaghi will have most Super Cups in history, which is something he 100% wants. So you can bet your culo that he is gonna grind our players in Saudi Arabia to win that Super Cup, which is not great for the league, especially since our schedule after is like horrible. Like we have Fiorentina, we have Juve, we have Roma after that.
All in a row.
All in a row.
Yeah. Two of those games are away.
Yeah. Yes. So we have Fiorentina away, Juve at home, Roma away. So it's insane how important and how difficult this is. I think this is where the title might be not decided, but it will be a big step towards this period. So especially since we play directly against Juve. So I personally, maybe would rotate for Supercoppa, but it's not gonna happen. So there is no reason to speculate.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quickly, prediction-wise, do you think, because we probably won't speak live again until the Lazio game, do you think that we'll win the Supercoppa?
I think so. Lazio,
basically because of the factors you said, but more so, what about the opponents?
Yeah, Lazio is always a hard opponent for us, but we already beat them away this season, which is, which shows that maybe they're not as good this season. So yeah, I think we will beat Lazio, and whoever plays in the final, I'm sure everybody will be, very hyped to get another trophy, which I always support,
Yes. Yeah.
getting more trophies. We're here to win trophies. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
how big it is.
Yeah.
But what comes after really concerns me. That's
Yeah.
the the downside. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually got a little bit of transfer news, believe it or not, and it comes for departure wise. Stefano Sensi looks to be packing his bags for Leicester. Uncle Sharma, with his waving finger, has done it. He's done it. He's said some sort of prayer and he's done it. Stefano Sensi is coming to Leicester. I can't wait for the big Sharma Sensi interview for the link up. If I was him, I would be walking the streets 23-8. Bro.
Sharma is going to wait for him at the airport. He's going to be stalking him in front of his house, I'm sure. And he's probably going to visit him in the hospital when he gets injured in 2 or 3 days.
That's it, man. That is it. It's happening. It's all happening. We've got a guy on the inside. But the thing is what I'm reading is this ain't no loan. This is permanent. They are going to give us 2 million euros, and that'll be the end of it. So it'll be an interest in Stefano Sensi that holds absolutely no substance, because it'll be it for him. He'll be done. It will be over. And to be honest, it has to happen. He just needs to go. He needs to play somewhere else. He's probably going to get absolutely belted in second division England.
Yes.
Like unbelievably belted. But you know what, Matija? I was thinking about this yesterday. Watch him string together 20 to 25 plus good performances and then end up starting for Brighton, Brighton or Newcastle next year in the Premier League, because that's what happens.
No, I don't see it happening, bro. But he is not, even now, he is not someone who can't show up and have a good game or two. I'm sure he will maybe have those in England, but this is perfect because his contract is up in June. We will not get anything for him. Even 2 million is better than nothing.
It's actually really good. It's a really good deal for us to,
Exactly. He's finished at Inter. Inzaghi doesn't trust him. He didn't rate him since the beginning. He will not gonna rate him now. He's basically finished with our club. So why not get 2 million instead of nothing? This is great.
Yeah, fully agree there. Lucian Agume has chosen Sevilla and has moved over there as well. Another player that was on our roster this season. That was
unfortunately, it's a loan again.
Yeah, it's a loan again. So you'll see him back and then out again at the start of next season. There's really not much to discuss about that. It's just going to keep happening. At this point, it doesn't look like we have a solution to the striker situation. It doesn't look like Alexis Sanchez is going anywhere. I know that some people are saying that Luis Muriel has been dropped in the rumors. I would love Muriel, but I don't think it's going to happen. What are your thoughts on the striker situation, Matija? We're just going to have to suck it up and accept that we go through this season and Toro and Turam either win us the league or we bomb it.
Yeah, that's it basically. So there is very little hope. Even if we get, the deal with Sensi finished, I don't, see a lot of options. At this point, I would rather take Primavera instead of the two guys, that are backups. But I don't know. I still have very, very slim hopes something will happen, but I don't think there are many options currently available.
Yeah, and Gab makes a good point. Big salary space to free up too. It'll cost 3.7 million. Nice to see you as well. Amy, thank you for coming through.
Happy New Year.
We've spoken about pretty much everything that I wanted to speak about today, but I'm not too sure if this will work. But can you see what I'm putting up on the screen here?
Yeah.
Great. I didn't know if gambling websites block their interface for being like mirrored or whatever, because
we're gonna bet on Monza and
we're not. I'm not actually gonna bet live because I have a feeling some algorithm exists somewhere that's gonna pin me for something if I bet live. But we are going to go through the magic that is the side hustle of making money off Serie A as an Inter fan. And it comes really with two metrics. You bet against Inter and pro whoever is challenging them for a position. This year it's Juve. So you bet pro Juve. In previous years, I have betted against Inter pro Lazio some weeks in years where we were going with Spalletti for that fourth spot. A lot of the time you can win big money if you know your team well. A lot of the time you lose small amounts of money, and you need to be okay with parting with that very small amount of money. A lot of fans disagree with this. I've got no shame in putting it up on the screen here. For years, people have said, how do you do this? How do you bet against your own team? I go, bro, I know this team way too well. It's the only thing in the world I can read like the back of my hand. I don't know anything else besides this team. So if it comes with profit, it comes with profit. Let me make it a little bit bigger. You can get Monza just to win at $7. You have to log in. Spewing. People can see it though. $7. 7-1 return. Like this game has got 2-1 written all over it to Monza. $7 is juicy, Matija.
Yeah, it is. It is. And especially, I'm interested to see if you can bet on Carboni or Gagliardini or D'Ambrosio scoring.
I don't think they're in the market yet, though. They haven't put the market in yet. They've only got the Inter players in so far for Bet365. Unless... No, not yet. But that's something that we're going to... Yeah, no. We got it. All right. It was buried deep in there because, you see, they just don't know Matija. And this is what we're talking about. They don't know. They don't know what we know. You can get... Start from the top. So you can get Colombo at 550. You can get Colpani at 650. You can get Carboni at 8-1.
Oh, nice.
You can get Gagliardini at 11-1.
Ooh.
You can get D'Ambrosio at 17-1.
Brother, this sounds good.
Bro, there is money to be made here if you believe in the Inter voodoo. If you believe in the Inter voodoo like we do, there is money to be made in this game. Probably more than any other fixture you go up against this season. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know closer to the day or in the Inter worldwide chat what gets decided.
Tim, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to stop watching football. So I said that before. If Juve win the Scudetto, I'm going to stop watching football. And the worst thing is, I currently firmly believe they're not going to win just the Scudetto. They're going to win the double. Because there is nobody to stop them in Coppa Italia now. And we are the only ones who can stop them in the league. So
I think the only team for me that can stop them in the Coppa is Fiorentina. I think that they're hell-bent on trying to get that Coppa because I truly think they believe that they had a good chance at it last season. And when Nico Gonzalez scored early, even I thought, shit, we've got our mind on the Champions League. We're going to throw away this Coppa to the team that wants it most. But our quality just completely took them off guard. By the 27th minute, it was 2-1, I think. And
Lautaro twice.
Yeah, Lautaro twice. And I think that they were really hurt because I remember watching a lot of them in tears at the end of that game.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying like all eggs in the Fiorentina Coppa basket at the moment, man. Matija, thank you for coming on. It was absolutely amazing. It was very enjoyable once again, bro. I always appreciate it.
Yes. And after the game, if our predictions, if our Grim Reapers are correct, we will come back and say, told you, bro. But
that's it, bro.
We don't want to be. Despite the popular belief that we want to be right, we don't want to be right. We want to be wrong, and we want to lose money if we bet,
We really do. Please believe us when we say this. We really do.
Exactly, yeah. So,
all right. Thank you so much, bro. Ciao, everybody.